What's up, guys? My name is Ghost. Today we're going to be going over a layout I like with the platform that I use, Interactive Broker. This is the trade worker station on your desktop, and just basic functions and different windows that I use. I also have a guest speaker for you guys to show you how he likes his layout and how he does his execution and orders. So let's get to it. So first step, you want to figure out which ones you have. So you start here, new window. So we have a bunch of these different settings here. First things you want to start with, I always start with, is option chain. And then you want to add your quote monitor. Easiest way, I do have two of these, so one is for puts. One is for the calls. And then once you got those two, that's pretty much how I get my orders in. I do set this up like this. You guys can rearrange it how you like, depending on how many screens you have. You can have it different sizes. So you want to have this set up like this. This is just my personal preference, by the way, but quote monitor is a must. And then after that, you want to unlink these, or you just want to make sure they're different colors. And then once you have this set up here, it's pretty simple. You can, if you like to see more strikes, I'd like to already have my strikes loaded up in my quote monitor coming into pre-market, depending on what zone we're in. And now we can get into the charts. So I like to have 4 charts. You guys can have them different ways. I do have multiple monitors, so just want to get 4 charts in here. And I'll show you the reasoning for 4 charts. Let's size these a little different. So this is my basic straight go-to execution. And then you want to close it up, lock it up. Now you have your layout. So the reason I also do the linking is so I have calls right here. Unlink this one. Unlink this one. And now you can also unlink these two. Now you can be looking at 4 different charts at once. Depending on your preference, you can have just 2. Have your SPX, ES level. Futures, June, SPY, QQQ, and say Apple or SPX. And there you go. And then, so how quote monitor works, say you're looking at some contracts, go 4100. So this is the call side. So I'd put these in here, 4140. And you want to have your bid, ask, average price, the type. You can take this off if you don't want to see your unrealized P&L for that contract. Data, delta, and then here will be your cancellation and the status if it's transmitted. And the same thing with the puts, you just drag it in. already populated depending on the zones we're in. You already know what strikes you're going to be looking at once we get to those zones. And that's how you can play it. And that's pretty much the basics of how I have my layout. If you have multiple screens, you can have these a lot bigger. If you want to ever pop them out, you can always pop them out. Manage your position. Same with all these other ones. And then that is pretty much the basic layout that I have it at. So one other thing I wanted to cover was how to get the orders executed on the quote monitor. So once we have our contracts populated inside our quote monitor, all you have to do is just right click and you'll have this buy and sell buttons up here. So you want to click the buy button. Here, time, forest, day, type, limit, market, stop. Have all your different options there. Quantity right there. And then you want to do, right now we're not getting the mid, bid, and asks, but those will populate during market hours and transmit. But before you get into a position, you can also set up your stops. So you can have your stops set up. Once you get into the position, you can set up your stop right after, and you can monitor your contracts like that. To get into more depth, I do bring someone that's actually helped me a lot with the quote monitor. He knows a lot, so I'll invite him and get him to show you guys how he sets up his. Like I said, we have a guest speaker today to get into how he set up his layouts and his conditional bracket orders and how he likes to set up his interactive broker. He's also a great trader, elite member in Team Bull. You guys probably know him, Max. Welcome, Max. Thank you for doing this.
Awesome, Ghost. Thanks for having me.
So yeah, if you
So
want to
yeah,
take it over.
let's dive in. So today, looks like we got a great introduction to a nice underlying layout and quote monitor setup, and we're gonna build on that. So we're gonna start by dragging an options contract onto our quote monitor. I really like this. This is gonna be our foundation for further layout. And then when we right click the contracts in our quote monitor, we get a few options. What I want to start with is the book trader. And this is similar to those who are familiar with Thinkorswim to Active Trader. It's like a price ladder for our options contracts. This will allow us to see the bid and ask spread on what we're trading. And then in addition, let's also get a contract chart, which we can add by right clicking the same contract in our quote monitor again, and then going up here to this new chart icon. When we click this, we now get a chart. So now we have our quote monitor, our option chain, our book trader with the price ladder, and then the contract chart. And so this lets us have everything tied together. And now for order management, we'll keep this concise, but what I love to do is use bracket orders. And these allow you to set attached sell orders and stop loss orders. So first things first, on our contract chart, we can initiate entries into position. So if we go to our chart, let's start by making sure yours looks the same as mine. We go to our gear icon up here, click settings, and now we have our display buttons. Make sure that you have our buttons panel selected, and that will show us these buttons over here, our buy button, and this one I've customized, but I will show you how to do that right now. So what we can actually do is in our button section now, we have our buy order, which when you click will give us an entry. So now we see we have a limit order to enter into a position at 1.35. And now what we obviously want to do is make sure that we can get out of that position. And what I like to do is right click your button, and this will say sell as a default, but configure. And then let's say instead of it, so normally when you open this, it'll say, well, where is our sell button? we'll have our sell. But instead, what I want to encourage is instead going to attach bracket orders and doing a button here. So what this is going to do is we now have our entry order. We click bracket order, and now we have two attached orders. And this is going to be, we see in our quote monitor, a sell order as a stop loss and a sell order as a limit order. And so what this will allow us to do is we can now, we want either from our chart or in our options chain or in our quote monitor, we can adjust the price that we want. So let's say we want to enter at 1.35 and sell at 3. And in this trade, we want to make sure that if the price drops below this swing low here, we exit. So now in this trade, we're entering at this swing low here at 1.35, stopping out under 0.85, and then taking profit up here at 3. And this is just a quick introduction to how I like to manage orders, and hope that this offers some insight. Ghost, anything
No, that's
that we'd like
awesome, man.
to add
That
further?
that's
Perfect.
I gave him the basic. You hit him with the advanced. I appreciate you a lot.
Great.
Thank you for all that, and I hope it does
Awesome,
help a
Ghost.
lot of people join
Perfect.
Interactive Broker. Just a few other things maybe you could touch on was how we do SPX 23.5 on Interactive Broker.
Perfect.
Fan
Yeah.
favorite.
So let's do that by going to our orders on our quote monitor and looking at our order ticket. When we do this, actually, we want to make sure that these orders, window isn't popping, will provide us, here we go, perfect. We want to make sure that on our order here, that we are filling outside of regular trading hours. So what this will allow us to do is with SPX, as we've shared, we are able to trade outside regular market hours. So when you're looking for those SPX global trading hour session trades between 8:15 p.m. Eastern time and 7:15 a.m. or 9:15 a.m. the following morning, make sure that if you're looking to have your order filled, that we select this, and that will allow trades to fill outside market orders. Another thing on a related note to touch on is to make sure that we understand uh, if we're looking to execute outside market orders, we need to make sure that we have our contract set to a stop limit because regular market orders will not execute outside regular market hours.
That's
So make sure
very
that outside regular trading hours that we're using limit orders.
Yeah, that's a
Uh,
definitely very important part right there. Make sure that you
yeah,
can get stopped out and not let the contract just go
exactly.
to zero on you. That's amazing.
Obviously, we do have to take into mind the intrinsic risk of having limit orders that could potentially not fill. But this is why we size responsibly. And if you're leaving positions unmanaged, definitely be aware of these risks.
Oh, no, obviously appreciate that.
Perfect.
Well, thank you,
Yeah,
Max. This was an awesome
of course,
introduction,
brother.
basic and advanced interactive broker layouts and how to execute your trades. I thank you for coming and stopping by and dropping some knowledge.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. This was great.
All right, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're gonna have some links in the bottom of this video of try to refer you guys to sign up for Interactive Broker if you guys enjoyed this layouts, if it was user friendly for
Perfect.
you guys, and hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.